looks fine. Well, what about multicast conferences? It's a way for sharing an experience, so there is someone speaking and other people listen. But the original way of doing this is by multicast. Multicast means that anyone receives media from every source which is transmitting to that address that I am listening to, and all listeners listen to that address. So there is the need for coordination of intervention in between participants, because if everyone speaks all together, there is a mess of people and no one understands nothing. So the problem is very well defined, because how people behave normally. There is the possibility to raise an hand and being noted by the chair, and later be invited to speak. So the problem is very small. But during time, many researchers have proposed different approaches and different tools for solving this problem and other problems, and have been proposed integrated solutions which also try to solve other problems as resource reservation and things like that. But this solution generally have been discontinued, and they work, they don't work. So I thought to start in breathing just a brick, just a small application which tries to solve only this small problem, and trying to use and reuse all that I can find about it. So the application is As to Speak, this is its name, and try to do just one job. No, start. So which are the other bricks? The other bricks are named M-tools, which is contraction of multicast tools, and there are the very famous BIC, which is for video. Audio is dealt by VAT and RAT, and we have found that there is another M-tool less known, which is named the conf control, which is written this way with L and R exchanged. And conf control was written for remote control of media, such as laboratory experiments or medical surgery. So someone must control media because people that are there are doing other things. So it looks something like that we need. How these tools are tied together by an application which is session directory, and our tool As to Speak just uses conf control for remote media management, and As to Speak only tries to manage the request for speaking and the invitation to speak. So session directory looks like a TV guide. It receives multicast announcements about session, and each announcement contains a description of media which will be used. And SDR works by using plugin files. Plugin files explains to SDR which applications have to be started for that media, and passes parameters, so passes the address of audio to VAT, the address of video to VIC, and we wrote plugin files for explaining how to start VIC and VAT when a media control, our media control is present in the announcement, because VIC and VAT are launched, started, making them sourcing another file which alter the behavior so that participants are no more able to start transmission by themselves. So we grab the focus from some button. And then we modify also SDR for making it able to pass the address of the announcer, because the control, the has-to-speak, has to know if it runs on the same machine who generated the announce. In that case, it behaves as the chairman. And if it starts on another node, it behaves as a listener. There is a way for communication in between video and audio, and this is called M-Bus. M-Bus is a way for performing inter-process communication. So it uses multicast with time to live 0, so multicast just stay in the same machine, and is a way for example, have audio controlling video. So if there are more speakers, when one of this one speaks, the main window of VIC can switch to the video coming from the same source, which is sourcing audio. So this is the historical reason for which it has been built, this communication protocol. And conf control uses this for controlling media. So how conf control works, there is one peer which directs the other peer for starting video, and the other peer communicate to VIC and VAT via M-Bus messages. Our tool, as I said, is a new tool, and who creates the session announcement is the chair of the session, the chairman. Who joins from a different address is a participant. Chair receives a request to speak by TCP and approves and publishes the requests by UDP multicast. In this way, all participants knows which request has already been done, so don't make again the same request. So this is a kind of sharing of status information, sharing the status information in between all participants. And this is the general architecture, and now we explain our delivery. This picture shows that we split the floor control problem into layers. The floor control itself, which is requests from participant going to chair. Chair publishes status information, and there is also a way for making multicast reliable. Then media control is demanded to conf control, and we have spent very few efforts in doing media control, just have concentrated on this level. So we direct conf control to activate a remote media by TCL send command. That is a way for a process to send the code to another process. TCL is a strange and interesting programming language where programs can send each other pieces of code. And so, as to speak, acts as a human people which gives a command to this peer, and this command is not done by hand, but is just sent from this other tool. And on the lower layer, there is the media processing, which is performed by tools. So how request submission works, participant write, this is the participant side, they write the question, and questions go in this window and are transmitted to the chairman. The chairman receives them and eventually approves questions, and when he approves questions, they go in this other window and are transmitted to all the other participants, which see them in this other window. When chair wishes to allow someone to speak, selects a question from his accepted window, and then multicast an on-air message. So makes all participants aware of who is speaking, which was the question which has put the people that now speaks. And together that directs conf control to activate media of that participant. I remember that participants can't intervene by themselves because their buttons, their transmit buttons, have been disabled, because when their tools has been started, they asserted a piece of code which disabled their buttons. No, questa è quella prima. After an invited speaker has finished, this media are deactivated by the same mechanism. And on the participant side, submitted questions do change color. So this is the color for an on-air question, an on-air speaker, and this is the color for a gone question, a question to which we have already given opportunity to speak, to talk. How multicast is made reliable. This is resemblant of a scalable, reliable multicast, which is an approach. You know, multicast is done by UDP, so there is no reliability built in, and the problem is that we can't receive acknowledgement. We need to receive just negative acknowledgement, which are sent when something is missing. How we detect that something is missing? Because when the chairman sends status information, add a number, a progressive number, so the listener who detects a gap in the numbers understand that he misses something, so he sends a negative acknowledgement. But here there is the risk of a feedback implosion. What happens if something goes wrong near the chairman and all the listeners together send a NAC? So there is a random timer which has to be waited before to send a NAC, and each listener during this random time also listen if the same negative acknowledgement is sent by some other listener, and in that case it suppresses this NAC because someone else has already asked for the same piece of information. Okay, this is the last but one slide. I should do 2 slides, it's too crowded. But these are the messages used. It's very simple. From the participant side, the participant send by unicast a submit for submitting the topic of a question, and it takes a progressive number for be recognized. And can send an erase for retract his question, change his mind, or see someone else already giving the same question. And by message, when he leaves, chair marks all the question of that participant has gone request and send the status information, updated information. Then the other message from participant then is the negative acknowledgement when he sees some information missing. From the chair side, there are two kinds of message. An update which changes the state of a submission to as an approved question or an on-air question or a gone question. So change the state. Or a blink which is sent when there is nothing else to send, which just repeat the last sequence number which has been sent, the last sequence number associated to the last update. So also late joiners can send a NEC for receive all the missing status. Result. There has not already been real trials about this, and this is experimental. But it's just a missing piece of code, because multicast tools for multicast conferences looks very useful, and this is the real problem, because there is no way to coordinate participants, and until we are 10, we can do it by voice. But if we are 100 or 1,000 or 1 million, and multicast is thought to be served to very large audience. So this is a way of doing actual television, where there are a lot of listeners and someone who telephones to the studio and make an intervention. So multicast is able to do the same thing, but there is a missing piece, is the how to pose questions. So I started to write this code from the community, but I have not tried really yet. And I have problems because multicast works, but not always. To me, now we have the firewall because of peer-to-peer traffic, and I have to ask to my administrator. But can be profitably used in local environments. So inside of a university, without needing multicast connection with the rest of the world, we can still use multicast and use a tool like this. And it's still in early status. This is the address. Now it's compiled only for Linux. I just use Linux. I found that this TCL send command is not portable. Windows does not supports it, and it poses also insecure security problems. Because people can run code in our machine. And I have not dealt the problem of leaving and rejoining of participant and chair. In this case, namespace built on a sequence number became ambiguous, so I just need to add another piece of namespace and to put a session identifier. I will think about this. The future is to add other feature for usability as an anonymous voting feature for letting participants to express their degree of understanding. This is another social behavior. When I explain something to people, I try to look them in the face and understand if they understand. So there is also this need. And another thing nice, I think, is an auto-pilot feature for giving fixed time to all registered registered speakers. Then the tool has to be tested again against the different releases of the M tools. And finally, I intended to remove the dependency of control, which makes more complicated than it was. And finally, generating M-bus messages seems not so complicated, so this feature will be incorporated inside of Ask2Speak, and this will be the next release of the tool.
Thank you, Alessandro. Do we have any questions? Just one from me. A lot of the development of the VIC, VAT and RAP tools is going on in the Access Grid community. Do they have anything like this, or are you talking to them about using something like this?
You say RAT?
Access Grid. The Access Grid are developing these tools as well. So you don't know if they are doing anything similar? Sorry. Access Grid are doing a lot of work with these tools. Are they developing anything similar, or are you working with them?
No, I don't work with Access Grid. Very similar for posing questions, you say.
Okay.
When I started this work, it doesn't seem to exist.
Okay.
But Access Grid is a coordinated system. You have to ask for a room. You can clone it and make it by your own.
Yeah.
But it's a coordinated environment. And I think this has a general purpose usage.
Okay.
Just SDR which coordinates everything, because it allows to announce a session to a multicast address which is not used by other sessions, and everything is tied together, bundled together by SDR.
Michael?
Is your system or your program like backward compatible? I mean, if I guess there's a security issue. If I have the old M-born tools, and I know you're sending some commands to my client, if I use the old one, you will not able to control me, right? If I discover your session and I connect with my M-born tool or my VIC to your session, will you be able to control me? Or I be the one disturbing you? Because I guess right now you have this modified customer and modified chair, right?
Yes.
If I use the old one, not modified one, can I still talk to you?
Sorry, I have a problem with English. That is my problem.
Alessandro, if I want to join in, if you have a conference running with these tools, but I only have the old version, so no Ask2Speak, can I still join?
If you don't have Ask2Speak, yes, you can still join, because you will receive media, but you can be a disturber because you can start transmit, yes.
Yeah. So I just guess a more social problem, how to force people to use something that limits their freedom. They're free people, they have to agree to that system.
It's just an aid to coordinate. We still trust in bona fide, well-behaved people.
Yeah, I just see whenever in Jant, in our test bed, in other places, we can see that everybody saying we don't trust our customers, we don't trust the police, we firewall, we do anything else. Yeah, it has to be well thought of.
Thanks. Thank you. Any more questions? In which case, thank you very much, and can we just thank Alessandro and all of the speakers? You'll know that lunch is already served, so you can go and have an early lunch and beat the crowd. Thank you.
Gdje je sad buba?
Mislim da nije to moja.
Če, digo bubu? Da.
Testing. Test. Zaostaje. Low. Oui.
Stavio na sredinu ili... Ne. Ne. Ne zezih to. Ne znam. Probamo imitirati njega. Okay. On tu stoji. Lagano. Ja sam baš gledao da kvak s rukom se i da onda...
Kojiš nekada? Kako uopće proizvede taj?
Da. A kaj je u KL2? Ja ne kužim kaj mu se događa sad.
Rijemo kad... Ne, Rijemo vidio sam. Sorry, Andrak, Iva Lejić, sorry. Ne stavi u šliku.
Ali ja ću se reći to klima u zimu.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, will be frozen here. I'm on the map.
To su oni projektori, ako neće raditi 3 godine.
Test. Test. Bolje sensitivity. Test sensitivity.
Reci.
Test sensitivity test.
Ma interferira ovo kurac neće. Uba digla s nečima, ne znam.
Ali ne znam s čim. I to je počelo danas.